What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about a new title update that EA just released. It's going to be specified in a lot of different categories. Franchise, you can now play a friend in the yard. A lot of things that don't correspond to a lot of the things that we do here at GmiasWorld as far as, will we get to the yard? Probably, but that's because you guys keep asking about it, not because I actually want to do it. But I will get into that at some point. I want to talk about one of the specific things with the title update in regards to catching. Now, I'm going to try to put up a snippet of it on the screen because some of you guys like to actually see it as it's going on. I will try to do that for you guys if I remember after I'm done with this video. But we're going to talk about the specifics of what's going to be happening. So let's go ahead and break it down, right? For a player like Vernon Davis, right? A guy that gets like deep in elite, deep out elite, all these kind of elites with the different passing game aspect. What happened was, like I already told you guys, in certain cases, this didn't work. So what EA Sports did, coming back from Madden 20 into Madden 21, they broke up streak specialists into different aspects of the game. So this is what happens. If you throw a pass outside of the numbers in a mid area, you would have better catching, right? If you throw it, inside the numbers, you're going to have better catching with that. Then you have the short route inside, the short in, and then you have the short out. Anywhere the ball goes, inside or outside the numbers, you would gain more advantage of catching the ball. Now, when I told you that these guys were going to do that in 20, you guys laughed at me because they had to find a way to stop people from, like myself, with the Gmias streak. That whole thing took off. You guys named it. I started mossing dudes uncontrollably. So what happens now is you can still moss dudes and do weird stuff, but now it's specified based on the area of the field that you're in. So when some of you guys are out there like, yeah, I'm mossing, you're really, sometimes you're going to get lucky with it because you just have the ability on it. And a lot of people, just like last year, they didn't have much user skill and it just threw it up and things happened. So one of the things that I want to kind of make sure you guys understand and give you guys some more information into the development of your team to make you better as a player, you should always have these type of things like a mid-in, mid-in, deep in, whatever, mid-out. You should have some kind of variation of this on your players because it gives you a major advantage. It's those animations where it's like you're playing Madden 16 without the OBJ catch. It's like really ridiculous. That's pretty much what EA Sports did. All right, so it's just broken up into 6 different things. Now, don't get me wrong. This was actually very, very smart because now it becomes more lucrative for EA. Because guess what happens, right? This is what most people will do. They will have to spend more AP on one player to get streak specialists. Theoretically speaking, you would need mid-in, mid-out, deep in, deep out, short in, and short out to get streak specialists. Like, you would need all of that because that way it covers everything if you throw a streak. Now, this also corresponds, with post routes and stuff like that. Now, based on the developer notes, what was happening was if you had, say you had mid out, right? And you threw the ball, but when the ball was thrown, it started off with your player in and then it ended up out, it wouldn't register. Now, no matter where the ball ends up because of pass leading, you're going to get credit for it. So you can now take your game to the next level and dominate dudes because of that simple functionality. Because no matter what happens, no matter where you lead it, whatever, as long as the ball ends up inside of the number specifically, you're going to get the benefit for it. And I know it sounds technical, and it is, and it doesn't make any sense. But again, we have to adjust because for them to break it up in these segments, realistically what happens is this, right? Instead of admitting that there was a mistake made with the way that the catching mechanic was in 20, they break it up so that you can't do the same things. That's typically what we've seen, and that's what's going on for a very, very long time. So right now, it forces you to play a certain way. For me, deep in elite still works because I run mostly, the tight set formations. So that's going to benefit me. It's going to make my passes, inside the numbers, deep passes inside the numbers a little bit more efficient. For you, you might be a mid person. You might go like, 11 to, 20 yards, something like that, throwing dots, maybe you guys on a crosser, stuff like that. But remember now, if the ball is, thrown wherever you pass lead it, doesn't really matter. You just have to make sure that they're within that proper zone of the area that EA is going to make you get credit for whatever the ability is. That's basically what it is. Before, like I said, they were not giving us credit depending on where we started off, where the ball was thrown. If your guy started off on the outside when the ball was thrown, they wouldn't give you credit for the mid-in throws. It was really ridiculous, and I've been saying it for a while. But again, most of you guys that, don't really understand what I'm trying to comprehend to you guys, this is why I'm doing this. And it's also for my veterans, because I see the veterans are asking a lot more questions as well, because the game is being changed so much. Yo, Gmia, why is this not working? Why is that not working? This is all intentional. So that's pretty much the breakdown of it and what's going to be happening as far as what we're going to be doing. So now when I tell you, all right, I'm going to have already, I already have the abilities on my players. And most of you guys were already using it, but it was always that ridiculous situation where it wouldn't light up in certain cases because you lead them outside of where they are. Now, EA is saying you're going to get credit no matter what. So if you throw it and they started off inside the numbers, but they ended up outside because of the pass lead, you're still going to get credit for it even though you're on the outside. This is based on what they're saying, all right? Do I believe it's going to work? No, okay? It's either going to be too OP or broken. Like, this is not something where I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to work. I already know what's going to go on. You know what I'm saying? If I end up outside the numbers, more than likely I'm going to get picked off. You're going to go for 6. It's going to be on and popping. That's more than likely what's going to happen. But that's not going to stop us from at least having the ability on the cards. So look, I get this guy on a route, 11 to 20 yards on the mid, all right? Throw it to him. He should light up regardless where the ball goes. Regardless if he's inside the numbers, outside, wherever he's at, doesn't matter. He should be able to get credit for it when the ball is thrown and he's inside, even if he ends up outside the numbers. That's what they're saying. You're going to get credit no matter what. That's the way it's shown there. So as long as you start to lead pass it when the player is either outside or inside, it's going to correspond. I'm trying to make sure that I say it as many times as possible so that you guys understand. You are going to have a little bit more OP action going on. All right, so I give him that mid-in simply because he doesn't get the, the deep out, deep in. He doesn't get that yet. All right, now Tyron Calico and Terry McLaurin. I know you guys are gonna be saying, yo, Gmia, what's up with these guys? Well, you go ahead and give these guys deep in, right? Giving them deep in is gonna, generate better outcomes for you regardless now. Because like I said, on my post route, I usually throw it when he's inside the numbers and he ends up outside the numbers. So now it's going to benefit me no matter what because the pass lead comes into play. Now listen, hear me out with this, right? A lot of you guys don't have Gunslinger yet. You still haven't come across and understand that that's the only way to play the game. So when you pass lead, if you have set feet lead on certain quarterbacks, you will get the higher velocity and the ball will end up probably outside of where you want the ball to end up. Just know that now you will get the same benefit from your receiver. All right, but I'm talking about high velocity throws. I'm talking about getting the ball out and going for 6 because that's pretty much what we want. And that's ultimately what we are going to now be able to see. Now, look, I haven't played a game yet. I'm going straight off of the gridiron notes. So if you have already played a game and you know it's not working, that's, listen, I will be right with you as soon as I'm able to see for myself. Because I have to make sure when I give my opinion that I actually went through it. I can't just take what anybody else is saying. That doesn't make any sense. I have to see it. So right now we still have Josh Allen. All right, Josh Allen is out there doing whatever he wants, handling his business. Everything is cool. We're going to see and be able to figure out ourselves if this is a real thing. If it turns out to be that now we get credit regardless, as long as we start them off with the ability, if they're deep in, they end up out, it all matters. Now the game's going to play a little bit better because the defense won't have that advantage anymore of picking you off simply because you don't have 2 abilities, like the deep in and the deep out. Now it doesn't matter as long as the player starts off in that area when the ball is released. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to test it out and I'm going to see what's going on. But again, I just want to make sure you guys understand, if you don't have a quarterback with the strong enough arm to lead pass it the way that they're trying to determine, you're going to get the pass advantage and you're going to get the catch advantage because you're going to have Gunslinger and you're going to have an ability that it doesn't matter. And you can now start to maneuver the way you lead them in and out, knowing that you're going to get the benefit no matter what. So what I think happened is that they opened up the grid to a larger amount. So that way, no matter where you throw it, you're going to be able to get that little boost similar to Streak Specialist. All right, so the catching should be OP. They haven't addressed anything else that was going on with the game. The servers are not addressed. not being able to find a game and getting locked out of MUT, all this thing, like as far as like the new house rules where it just keeps freezing, none of that has been addressed. That's not the issue. Right now, we're going to focus on the catching and the fact that they had some information about, like, you know, better blocking with some of the playbooks, whatever. Another thing that I really don't care about. I'm focused on the gameplay aspect of it. So we're going to test it out. I'll get you guys back that feedback, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitch, all at GmiasWorld. If you guys want to see the full-length gameplays, you know what to do. Head over to GmiasWorld Gaming and show your boys some love. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You have an unbelievable day. One love, y'all.